I'm an idiot about this. You're walking up to the cashier, and the cashier is just politely talking with another gentleman, and you're just laughing amongst each other. And then you approach them, and then they treat you differently. But the reason that that's happening is because you're on a different frequency than they are. And the reason that they are like struggling with you is because your energy is so high and you are so happy and so bubbly and wonderful. And they don't know how to react to that. But also, it could be because she sees the reflection of her in you and she doesn't even realize it. Or he. But we don't often wonder. And at the same time, now, when this happens, our ego comes out because we're like, why is this person being like this? Why are they so reactive? I know it's easier said than done to not let yourself react, but this is the reason why. And you just have to take it with a grain of salt and not let it bother you. Of course, we want to put up our arms and we want to hold out our sword when someone comes at us. The main thing is not to react, because at the end of the day, we're losing our energy by it's being sucked out of us when we do things like that. We don't realize it. That's the beautiful thing about when you wake up and you start to learn to trust your intuition. I had two wonderful ladies on my show yesterday. One of them, she explained how intuition works and how it saved her life countless times. For instance, when she found out that she was diagnosed with cancer, she wouldn't have never known she was diagnosed with cancer because a voice inside her told her to start running. So she started to run. And as she started to run, the weight started to fall off. She was down, I think she said she was at 12 and then she was down to an 8. And by that happening, she went to a doctor and the doctor found a lump. But they never would have found the lump if she hadn't started running to begin with. It's interesting, eh? She beat cancer. She had to go through the treatments and everything. She did her chemo and Western medicine, but also she was practicing forgiveness. Because forgiveness, we hold on to so much. And I know I'm still learning to forgive people too. And that's just the ego in me. But as you learn, I don't know if you like to read books that are outside of your box, which is fine if you don't. But I recommend the book called Messages in the Water. And the reason I recommend that book is because we are 95% water. And we don't realize this. And this book, this man, spoke to water. Just how we would speak to each other on a daily basis. He spoke to the water politely and gave it love. And then he froze the water. That water formed beautiful crystalline figures. Then he spoke to the water in a more negative way and more like and froze that water. That water turned black, crystallized pictures. The point is, when we amongst each other hold resentment, think about what that's doing to our bodies. The water inside of us is actually turning into sludge. We don't realize it because we're pushing our emotions down. We're burying them. I know I did the same thing. I had tons of health problems. And when I stopped holding my feelings in and letting my emotions out, diet is a really big thing too. Like, our bodies are communicators. They'll talk to us all the time, but we don't listen to them. Instead, we self-medicate. We don't realize that they are trying to communicate. They're trying to tell you something. It'll be like they're punching you in the head. Like you got a massive headache. That's them telling you to like wake up. Or if you have a heart attack, that's them waking you up. But you don't listen. I didn't listen either when I injured myself numerous times. They injure you. You don't injure you. They do. It's called intuition. We're all built with it. We all have wonderful abilities. We're all connected to the divine, to God, the universe. So we don't realize it. We think that we need to self-medicate ourselves, but we don't. We can actually heal ourselves just by talking to our body, just by talking to ourselves, mentally, spiritually, physically. I had another wonderful lady on my show, and she was taught her entire life that she would stand up and fight for what she believed in. Went into the Marines and was fighting in a war, in a battle, and something happened when they were targeting a man who had just planted an explosive. So they were targeting with a drone bomber. And when she saw that man on that camera, something came over her and said, "Why are we targeting this man? This could be someone's father. This could be someone's son. I don't want to hurt this man. Is he truly an enemy, or are we told he's an enemy? Or what is his circumstances? Is he being forced to do this?" These are questions you need to ask yourself. Before we start to judge people and we start to think that they're evil, they're bad, ask them why they're doing the things in the first place. Well, we can, because we are given orders by someone who is just dealing with their issues as we are to take these people out. I respect anyone who's willing to go to war, but ask yourself, why are you going to war? What is it going to serve? If you knew that person was a son or a father and he was being forced to do what he's doing, would you lay down your weapon, walk over to that man, shake his hand, or hug him? That's a question. We don't think of these things. We know there is an enemy. But who is the true enemy? Is it them? Or are we the enemy? Or enemy of our ego? Because ego is the enemy. Author Ryan Holiday wrote a book about it. Our ego is our enemy. So therefore, maybe our enemy is not the enemy that we see every day. Maybe the enemy is within our greatest opponent, but we don't realize it. Until you do the actual work, until you do the growth work, until you forgive, until you understand how this all works, it's not going to make any sense at first. But when you awaken and truly understand how this all works, it's wonderful to be at peace, to meditate, to know that you're not in control of anything. Literally, you have no control over your life. Everything that happens to you is done by design, is done by something you created, and you don't realize this. You think you're just having one of those days. No, it's like today. I went to the gym. I forgot my phone, but I forgot my phone for a reason. Because everything happens for a reason. There's no such thing as coincidence. And it's because I was having an off day because I received a text from someone who I hadn't spoke to in a long time. And I'm still holding on to something that this person did that I haven't forgiven him for. And that's only because of my ego. But I will forgive him. Because I can't talk to you every day and not forgive someone, right? That's not it. But that's the ego, right? That's how the ego works. It controls us. And it makes us, but at the same time too, our intuition will make us amend, will make us sit down when we're not listening. Point of it too, like you look at it, like I'll use the lady that I had on earlier that I was talking about, that helped her with her cancer. She was going to move into this beautiful neighborhood, and something inside her told her no. So she moved to a different neighborhood. A year later, a hurricane went right through that neighborhood and flattened everything. See how it works? We don't even realize it. It'll save your life. If you hear a voice in your head tell you to do something, listen to it. Because it's guidance, it's wisdom. If they tell you to turn down a different street, turn down a different street. If they tell you let someone else drive, let someone else drive. Trust yourself. Trust your gut. Always trust your gut, because your gut is your brain. It's another part of your brain. Just take your time with it and don't worry about it. It comes with time. It comes with practice. I'm still learning. We're all still learning. The lady that I had my, she's still learning, and she's been doing this for 30 years. We're all still learning. It's when you stop learning, you're done. That's the whole point of the game. Life is a game, and it's going to challenge you. It's going to try to annoy you. it's going to try to hurt you, but none of it's real. It's just the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, trying for you to understand and see. Maybe you're not meant to do this. Maybe you're meant to do something else for work. Maybe you're meant to do something else for life. Maybe you're not meant to be in this relationship. You're always going to get tell signs. It's just whether or not you pay attention to those signs. Trust in them. Believe in them. They will guide you. Meditate on them. Think about them. Get away from distractions though first. Because those distractions are going to keep all this mind cluttered. And then it blocks your intuition. And who knows? It may save your life. I could have died 5 times, but I was supposedly meant to be doing something else. We think death, we have to be scared of death. We don't have to be scared of death. Why do we need to be scared of death? Because we've already been here. This isn't our first life. This shell that I'm in, this is the first life, of course, but this isn't your first life. There's nothing to be afraid of. And going back to the water thing, give yourself some grace and don't self-medicate. I know it's easier said than done because you're in pain, but that's another thing that's an illusion because pain is only in the mind. The same with sickness, same with disease, all of that. It's all in our minds. We create it by our environments, by the people we're around, by the way we talk to ourselves, by the way we treat our bodies. Of course, if your body was made of 95% water and you were, say, drinking, I don't know, 2 Red Bulls a day, how do you think your body's going to, or you're eating fast food on a regular basis? Of course you're going to get sick because your body's trying to tell you, I don't want this in my system. I don't want it. I don't need it. It's okay though. Like, if you're stubborn, I'm stubborn too. Like, it took me a long time to realize all this, and I'm still stubborn to this day. But just don't let it get to you. It's just not worth it. You'll figure it out. I have faith in all of you. If any of you are struggling right now, reach out, leave a comment. I don't. Have a wonderful day if you're in Alberta. Dress warm, enjoy the snow, and spend time with loved ones. I love you all. Much love.